Verstappen and Adrian Newey's exit strategy from Red Bull is causing quite a stir. Recent leaks have revealed shocking details about how both the F1 superstar and the legendary engineer might be planning their departure from the team. With the recent struggles of Red Bull and tensions rising, it seems like Verstappen and Newey are plotting a major move. Helmut Marko recently discussed the possibility of Max Verstappen leaving Red Bull before the new 2026 regulations take effect. This seems like a real option for the three-time world champion, especially given Red Bull's recent drop in performance. Verstappen had raised concerns about the car's stability issues, but Red Bull didn't fully address them, which adds weight to Marko's comments. With Aston Martin's technical team improving and Honda set to join the grid in 2026, could this be Verstappen's next move? The idea of Max leaving Red Bull might seem surprising to some, but it makes sense given the current situation. Red Bull, once dominating the grid, has struggled in recent months, and that decline hasn't gone unnoticed. Max, along with his father, Jos Verstappen, isn't afraid to explore new opportunities, especially if it means returning to the top. Max's growing concerns. Max Verstappen has consistently pointed out issues with the Red Bull car since Miami. Despite winning some races that seemed unlikely, the team didn't feel the urgency to address these problems. Max's victories masked the deeper flaws in the car, keeping the team from fully realizing the danger they were in for both the drivers' and constructors' championships. Helmut Marko believes this could be a key factor in Max's future with Red Bull. The team's recent performance drop isn't just about losing competitiveness, it's also about not listening to Max's input. He has raised concerns about the car's flaws, but the team seem to rely more on his talent than addressing the technical problems. Marko has also highlighted how Red Bull's internal politics have caused frustration for Max. For example, the team falsely claimed that Daniel Ricciardo would be Max's teammate after Zandvoort, which further strained the relationship. These kinds of decisions, combined with ignoring his feedback, have left Max feeling sidelined. Marko stated, "Next year, Max will drive for Red Bull Racing, but 2026 is so far away. Our full focus is on the 2024 World Championship." This suggests that while Max is staying for now, the long-term future is uncertain. Max's 78-point lead before the second half of the season seemed safe, but he lost 16 points to Lando Norris in just 2 races. With McLaren's recent strong performances, especially in tracks where they excel, Max could see more of his lead disappear. Red Bull's downfall in the Constructors' Championship is becoming evident, and if things don't turn around, Max's frustration may grow further. Further, Verstappen has openly admitted that with the current version of the Red Bull car, they won't be winning any races for the rest of the season. While Helmut Marko suggested that Red Bull's competitiveness might return by the Austin GP in October, Max is not as optimistic. The upcoming meeting after the Singapore GP will be crucial, with questions about Max's future likely being addressed sooner than later. However, Max's current verdict on the car and team is far from positive. Despite Max's intense focus on fixing the car's balance, he's growing increasingly frustrated by the team's lack of response to his feedback. He's been vocal about the car's problems for months, but his concerns haven't been acted upon with the urgency he believes is necessary. As a driver who always strives for the best, Max feels let down by the team's inability to address these issues fully. Balance issues on the horizon. Speaking about the upcoming races and Red Bull's ongoing struggles, Max explained that the car's balance is the key problem. "At the moment on most tracks, our main issue is the balance," he said. He highlighted that the car's ride can be improved on all tracks, but street circuits make the problem more obvious. Max doesn't expect Singapore to bring any sudden improvements. "It's not going to swap around in Singapore for us." Another important thing here is that Helmut Marko has focused on a major issue within Red Bull, key figures leaving the team. Though he hesitated to admit it, the departure of Adrian Newey, Red Bull's chief technical officer, likely had a more significant impact than the team anticipated. Marko noted that this internal shift, starting around the Miami Grand Prix, coincided with the team's sudden performance drop. While he downplayed the idea that internal drama caused their technical problems, he acknowledged that losing experienced engineers and high-profile staff has had a noticeable effect. Marko explained that when valued employees receive better offers or see new opportunities, they often leave to pursue them. This has left Red Bull trying to manage a tough situation. "In Austin, we have to show that we've turned things around," Marko said, indicating that the upcoming races are critical for the team. The timeline of Newey's departure and Red Bull's struggles is hard to ignore, making it seem like more than just a coincidence. Max Verstappen's father, Jos, has also weighed in, pointing out that Max had raised concerns about the car's balance as early as the beginning of the season. Jos shared that while Max tried to keep these complaints under wraps, the team didn't take his concerns seriously enough. Now, with Red Bull struggling to catch up, it appears they may have waited too long to address the problems. As Jos noted, it's a little too late. Moreover, Red Bull's updates have not delivered the improvements everyone expected. "In Formula One, standing still is going backwards," he emphasized. While rival teams like McLaren and Mercedes are making significant progress with their upgrades, Red Bull is still racing with parts introduced early in the season, around the Bahrain Grand Prix, and only minor improvements since. This stagnation is a massive challenge, especially with races happening in quick succession, giving the team little time to find effective solutions. The lack of meaningful updates means Red Bull risks falling further behind the competition. As Verstappen pointed out, the team hasn't found a reliable solution to the car's balance issues. While competitors have made huge strides in performance, Red Bull appears to be stuck with the same specifications they started with, failing to keep up with McLaren's and Mercedes' upgrades. Looking ahead, Honda's decision to join forces with Aston Martin from 2026 also raises questions about Verstappen's future. With Honda departing Red Bull, Verstappen might explore other options. Interestingly, Mercedes is not necessarily the favorite to sign the three-time world champion, which leaves a potential opening for Aston Martin. Honda's arrival could influence where Verstappen ends up, as Aston Martin's growing technical strength makes them an appealing future option. The Mercedes dilemma: room for Verstappen. With Mercedes planning for the future, Toto Wolff faces a challenging decision. The team is betting on young talent Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who will join from 2025. If Antonelli performs well, George Russell is expected to take the lead in the team. However, if Antonelli doesn't meet expectations, there could be an opportunity for a shocking move, Max Verstappen taking Russell's seat. While this scenario seems far-fetched, it becomes more plausible considering Aston Martin's situation. Fernando Alonso is nearing the end of his career, and Lance Stroll, though consistent, isn't seen as a championship contender. Lawrence Stroll, Aston Martin's owner and Lance's father, might face a tough decision if he wants to turn Aston Martin into a championship-winning team. If Verstappen shows interest, it could force Lawrence to prioritize the team's success over his son's place. Aston Martin has been undergoing significant restructuring, hiring top engineers like Enrico Cardile, Andy Cowell, and even rumors of Adrian Newey joining. This bolstered technical team could be highly appealing to Verstappen. With Newey likely to have a greater role at Aston Martin than he currently holds at Red Bull, Verstappen might be tempted to join a team where Newey will have substantial influence over engineering decisions. This could also attract Verstappen's father, Jos, and Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko to Aston Martin, creating a potential powerhouse team. Given the tight regulations in Formula One, innovation is key, and Aston Martin's fresh approach might be exactly what Verstappen is looking for. Red Bull is currently facing serious challenges in retaining their top talent, both in terms of experienced engineers and star drivers. Sergio Perez recently admitted that he and Max Verstappen are facing the same issues with the car, indicating for the first time that Red Bull is openly acknowledging the car's shortcomings. This admission comes after poor performances on tracks like Monza and Spa, where Red Bull was not competitive in terms of race pace. If they struggled on these circuits, it doesn't bode well for the upcoming high downforce tracks like Singapore and Baku. The Singapore Grand Prix has historically been a tough race for Red Bull. Even during their dominant 2023 season with the RB19, Singapore was the only race they failed to win, with both cars knocked out in Q2. Given the team's current struggles, it's hard to see how they will perform any better at this challenging circuit in a few weeks. With all these issues in mind, one might wonder if Max Verstappen will leave Red Bull sooner than expected. Could he decide that it's time to move on, especially considering that his feedback on the car's issues hasn't been properly addressed, similar to how Mercedes engineers initially ignored Lewis Hamilton's concerns? And more importantly, would leaving Red Bull be the right decision for Verstappen's career, especially with other teams stepping up their game? So what do you think? Comment below your views and subscribe for more such videos.